Good afternoon from India, and a very warm welcome to today's presentation on analysis of water footprint in cotton production in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So this study was conducted under a global program called Sustainability and Value Added in the Cotton Economy, being GIZ. Just to briefly mention about this particular program, so this was commissioned by German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development called BMZ under the special initiative of One World No Hunger. So this is a 4-year long program which runs till March 2023. It has a twofold objective. One is how do we overall increase the sustainable cotton production in India, and how do we strengthen the domestic supply chains and the downstream processing segment in India. So the project is being implemented with Ministry of Textiles, Government of India as a lead partner, and also it's collaborating with different national and global textile brands, including sustainable standards on textile and cotton. Now, we all know that India is one of the most worst affected countries due to climate change. And due to this climate change phenomena, there is also a shifting pattern of monsoon on which our agriculture production systems are largely based on. So the project thought it's imperative that we analyze the current water footprint for cotton production in the two states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, which are predominantly the cotton producing belt in India. For this, the study looked at three kinds of water footprints. One was with regard to green water footprint, which deals with rainwater that is stored in the root zone of soil and evaporated, transpired, or incorporated by the plant. Second was with regard to blue water footprint, which actually looks into the surface and groundwater resources, which is either absorbed by the crop or evaporated. And third was with regard to gray water, which deals with the amount of water required to assimilate pollutants to meet specific water quality standards. Besides this, the project also looked at potential risk of water footprint on achieving sustainable cotton production, as well as recommending measures to the project on reducing water footprint in cotton in these two states. Regarding sampling procedures, overall 213 small and marginal farmers were largely surveyed through questionnaires. And besides this, the project also looked into different parameters like rain-fed and irrigated cotton, short duration and long duration cotton, high density and conventional farming, which are largely used for cotton cultivation in India, which impact water footprint differently. Besides this, the FAO crop weight model was also employed to estimate crop evapotranspiration, the effective rainfall, as well as the irrigation water requirement during different hydrological years. Just to briefly take you through to the main highlights of the study, so with regard to green water footprint, it was understood that in both the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, the green water footprint is lowest during the normal year. Now, it was also interesting to note that the marginal and small farmers who don't have access to irrigation sources, they generally rely on rainwater for irrigation requirements, and therefore they tend to have a higher green water footprint. In most cases, also with regard to the crop duration, the green water footprint increases with the increase in crop duration as the evapotranspiration increases disproportionately. With regard to blue water footprint, so we all could understand that this is generally lower for drip irrigated cotton as compared to conventionally irrigated cotton using flood irrigation methods. Also, it was interesting to note that in a state like Gujarat, which is largely an arid zone, the water footprint during drought year was on the higher side because during droughts, the farmers expect the fall in yield, and therefore, whatever water that they have, they tend to over irrigate the field, expecting higher yields. And therefore, that shoots up the blue water footprint during drought years. In Maharashtra, it was during wet year when farmers apply irrigation more than what is actually required by the crop, and therefore the blue water footprint tends to be on the higher side. So this also goes on to show that different project geographies and the different practices that they employ for cotton production impact water footprint differently. And therefore, the project is coming up with differentiated strategies to tackle water footprint in different geographies. With regard to grey water footprint, we all know that cotton is one of the most fertilizer intensive crops, and and it was also seen that the highest grey water footprint for rainfed cotton was observed during drought years. So during drought years, the farmer tend to apply fertilizers in larger doses than what is recommended, so that they can compensate for the lack of water in their fields during drought years, expecting higher yield, which generally is not the case, but it does shoot up your gray water footprint for during drought years. And also the grey water footprint was highest for varieties with duration of less than 180 days, where farmers tend to put more of fertilizers and put up more of irrigation to expect higher yield. So overall, the water footprint in cotton production was higher during wet and normal rainfall years. And also we all saw that whole pattern of farmers over irrigating fields under conventional method, where the basically the marginal and small farmers, and they tend to have a higher water footprint. With regard to risk of the present water footprint of cotton production, so the study has analyzed that about 42% of the annual groundwater availability would be used for the blue water footprint in Maharashtra, in Gujarat, and at about 33% of the total annual groundwater withdrawal would be done for blue water in Maharashtra alone. So this is a serious situation we are looking at. Also, the study has looked at about 500 million cubic meters of wastewater or the grey water that would be generated, which poses a threat to the quality of receiving water bodies, and therefore the action becomes imperative. Um, so we have also incorporated the action plan into our project strategy to deal with water footprints. So first is how do we optimize the fertilizer doses of cotton with regard to training farmers and also making sure that farmers put fertilizer doses in accordance with the soil testing report. There's also larger reliance on using organic or biofertilizers, which reduces the grey water footprint overall. Besides physical training, we're also trying to deal with digital solutions to the farmers on timely agro advisories, including soil moisture conservation, weather, and market information. Besides this, we have also seen that drip irrigation alone does not ensure the water efficiency. Therefore, we are also including the irrigation scheduling to enhance the overall water use efficiency for cotton. Besides this, the time-tested techniques like mulching and minimum tillage for retaining soil moisture and reducing non-beneficial evaporation are the technologies being employed under the project. Besides this, we also have this comprehensive water resource management plan, which is largely employing the technologies of GIS and remote sensing to assess the existing water resources, the extent of their utilization, and how to be overall increase the efficiency of such resources. Thank you so much.